Isa Mancheno.
Yes, hi, how are you?
Good. Now, for 4 or 5 years, you were the president of the IWWF. Was it 4 or 5 years?
4 years, yes.
4 years, the president of the IWWF region or federation, and huge responsibility, but you're one of the architects of expanding the sport of wakeboarding to other countries, which is critical for keeping the Pan Am Federation or wakeboarding involved in the Pan Am Federation, the Pan Am Games, and so on.
They involve the junior Pan Am Games in Asunción next year, which is a really good achievement, and we're gonna keep in Lima 2027 also. So it was a hard work, but we made it.
Well, it is a lot of work, and it's very political, but growing the base, growing the number of countries is key to keeping water skiing, wakeboarding involved in the Pan Am Games, which means for Kevin that it's part of the Olympic family, and that's critically important to every national governing body.
Exactly. Yes, because mostly mainly, like in general, countries receive government fundings for developing the sports locally, and being able to get those medals is the comeback, and it's the revenue of the sport.
Yeah. Now, Kevin, that for USA Water Ski and Wake Sports, that's critically important to your operation as well. Isn't that credibility? It's financial. Tell us about that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, in America here, it's corporate America, so we run on sponsorships, and in a lot of South American countries, there's government funding, and that's all the way up to the U.S. Olympic Committee. We run on corporate sponsorships. So, but yeah, thank you for your service over the last 4 years, and she's here to live to tell about it. Pretty impressive right there.
Well, let's get a little more personal here, because the sport of water skiing is a family sport. We'd love to call it a family sport, but the family of water skiing itself is unique. It's very unique. How did you get involved in water skiing and wakeboarding?
It was funny because my 2 boys, who are grown up already today, they started doing wakeboard, and it was funny because in Colombia we didn't have any trainers, so we used to watch Sean Murray's video, and we would put a computer on the dock, watch what we had to do, go into the water, and do whatever we imagined we had to do. Yeah, detention. Yeah. And do whatever, and then mostly didn't work, so we went back to the dock, watched the video again, and then go back to the water. So that's how we got involved in water ski. And then my 2 boys stopped competing, and I stayed in the local federation, and since ever we have been developing the sport locally and confederation wise.
Well, wakeboarding since 1985, at that time I was skiing on the Coors Light International Tour, and I remember Tony Finn, I don't want to say the founder necessarily. Pioneer. There you go, better word. Came in and they allowed him to do some demonstrations. But from them in 1985, no, that's 39 years ago. I was 2. No, I'm just kidding. But 39 years ago, it just launched. Literally, no pun intended, just launched into the public eye. It was really it's a sport that has grown, continues to grow, and is really keeping the water sports elevated and keeping it afloat. Man, I got a lot of puns today. I don't mean it that way, but the skiers themselves, that's one component. But then you have, as Kevin mentioned, you have the manufacturers, both the indigenous or the endemic and non-endemic sponsors. But you then have so much that's going on behind the scenes, and people like yourself, if it wasn't for your time, the efforts that you put into it, we wouldn't be where we are today. If it wasn't for Kevin and the things that he's doing, the sport wouldn't be where it is today. Tell us a little bit about in Colombia how that all transpired. It isn't just there. It doesn't, through osmosis, it doesn't just grow.
I think it's each country has it's called own culture. So, but what actually makes us stronger and is that we have understood during the last decade, I would say, that water ski is many disciplines. We have 3 event tournament. We have water ski, wakeboard. We have wake surf. We have show ski. We have barefoot. We have all that kind of branches that, if we stay together, we're gonna make us stronger. So. And that's what we did locally, because before we had water ski in one side, wakeboard in the other side, and they actually didn't even talk to each other. So it was nonsense to do that. So what we have been trying to do throughout the region is to gather all the disciplines so we can be stronger and have, like as you said, better sponsors, because it's way better to have commercially not just one community but all the communities involved in whatever you are selling. So that has been the main objective, to be bigger and stronger together.
It's kind of like here, you know, this complex, the Lake Myrtle Sports Complex, is city owned. And then Visit Central Florida Sports does all the marketing, the sales of the park, but there's leagues here. So what this is, for those of you that really don't know, is the state governing body of the sport of soccer. For all of our international fans, football. And there's 11 football international sized fields here, building 3 more, all with lights. There's a stadium here, but the state governing body, which is the largest in the state of Florida, the largest governing body, 120,000 kids are registered through Florida Youth Soccer Association. It is a wonderful situation where we have the governing body here. We have all of the major events in the state of Florida here, or in the state of Florida, are being held here. That's a similar concept to this entire championship lake. Kevin is going to be working heavily on bringing more of these championship events here, more training, official training headquarters of USA Water Ski and Wake Sports. Kevin, that's an opportunity. It's not a liability.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we're trying to create a culture with all our employees and everything we do in the field. It's so important. I mean, you got to take care of business in the office, but what happens in this world, it's a lifestyle. We live this thing 24/7. It's a lifelong endeavor. You mentioned all the different ways you can participate. I have friends that have participated in 4 different disciplines. It keeps you interested for life, and that's one thing I really enjoy about our sport versus, you know, something so linear that it's the same repetitive activity all the time. We have so many different ways to participate, and then you can volunteer and help out with adaptive events and stuff like that, and of course pass the handle and teach first timers how to enjoy these great sports.
Well, that's Issa, the U.S. Adaptive National Championships were held on this lake a few weeks ago, and I believe, Kevin, that there are 2 established world records that were set on this lake, another one that's pending. But holding the adaptive nationals here, I think that there is so much room for growth with adaptive skiing. The variety in water skiing is something that no other sport, maybe snow skiing, alpine skiing, Nordic jumping, and all that stuff, cross-country skiing has. But water skiing is unique, and we have an advantage.
Yeah, I agree. It's a very visible sport. I mean, with all the disciplines, it's always a show, which is nice. Like people, I always have this argument. I don't know if you have it with the slalom. Like a runoff in slalom is the most exciting thing there is ever, and
Sure.
people like this. I don't understand what they are doing. Like they're doing a runoff. They are like, imagine what they're doing. So.
Yeah.
Everything has its nice parts, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned at the beginning, this sport is a family sport. We have, like, now I've seen, since I've been involved in the sports, like it's about 12-14 years now, we have like riders like Marreco and who his daughter is starting to ride here. So he competes, his daughter competes, and his wife competes. So it is a family sport, which is great.
Yeah, it's so much fun, and I know for Kevin as well, being a world-class athlete, Skip Gilchristen Award winner, wakeboarder, and all of that type of stuff. That your avocation, your hobby, what you do when you recreate and so on, then turns into a vocation or a career. And it kind of has done that for you in some ways too, being the president.
Yes, it did. Getting involved because of my kids, it was a really, really nice experience. And today, I'm happy to do this, and I've found a way to put my work to a good side and keep working on that. So I'm not at the executive board anymore, but I'll be around and I'll keep helping around. I got to know my way around, so I'll be there to keep working for all the community. Well,
your leadership was certainly appreciated and noticed. You have done a lot, and we really thank you for your time. But possibly later today or even tomorrow, we can get you back on air here, because you've been a wellspring of information. It's been fun.
No, thank you very much. And sure, just give me a call and I'll be here.
Okay, Isa, thank you so much. Now we'll turn it back over to Kevin, because we've got a run number 2 coming in, Kevin.
Yeah, just Massey going down, struggling with that half cab roll. But yeah, Isa, thanks for everything you've done and continue to do.
I will do.
And I don't know if there's any awards for team apparel, but if Columbia might be a front runner for team fits, man, those are looking pretty sharp.
Thank you very much. Good to see you guys.
Oh, great to see you too, and thanks again.
Thank you.
You bet.